All right, well, welcome everyone to the Marysville High School presentation regarding dual enrollment. And we are here to answer a whole lot of questions. This is a busy time of year at Marysville High School. In fact, I think within the last 2 days, we've had about 30 students request to see Krista and I regarding this process, which can be anything from how do I do it, what classes should I take, and just kind of the fun facts of dual enrollment. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to, I believe it's Deborah Lacey. Is that correct? And she's joining us from SC4 and is someone who assists us in this process and could, I hope, in the future be your go-to for any dual enrollment questions because, fun fact, as counselors at Marysville High School, while we definitely care for your children, we are not able to really assist with much at all when it comes to dual enrollment. We cannot fill out applications. We can't really fill out the paperwork. We can't speak to professors on their behalf. So this is where they are turned over to the university or the community college, and they are sort of considered adults at this time. So with that being said, Deborah, thanks for joining us, and I'm going to turn it over to you.
I wanted to thank you all just for this opportunity to speak to you a little bit about dual enrollment, especially as it pertains to our processes at SC4. I'm going to try to keep it short enough to not overwhelm you, but I'm happy to answer any questions that might come up. You're welcome to use a little raise your hand feature at the top, or you can also just drop a question in the chat. I will be happy to catch up to those questions whenever it is appropriate to do so. So just a little bit about dual enrollment. It is a program where high school students can enroll in college courses while they're still in high school. They do have the opportunity to receive both college credit and high school credit for some of those courses. Each school district will pay up to a statewide weighted average foundation allowance. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Marysville is at $800 per course. Costs that would be above that dollar amount would be the responsibility of the student and the family. It is a really short process. Sorry, that?
So sorry, but we're at 850, just so 850.
Wonderful. Okay, 850. I'm going to go update my notes. That's good to know. Thank you for that. Our process is pretty simple. The very first step for any student is to apply for admission. The application itself is quite short. It's maybe a 5 to 10 minute form. And the biggest piece that I wanted to point out, as you see on my screen, there's a section out there called student type and interest. What we ask for is the semester that the student is interested in beginning classes with us. So on this example, I have winter of 2026, which is our January start. The student, when it asks what kind of student are you, they would be a current high school student interested in earning college credits while in high school. Another question will pop up right below that and say, what type of enrollment are you applying for? And that would be marked as a dual enrolled student. Jamie, you have a question?
My son is in tech center and he already applied for the dual enrollment. So I'm assuming he can't do both, correct? Or is he already considered a dual enroll child?
St. Clair Tech and then taking college credit courses would be two separate things.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you referring to middle college?
Oh, yes, I think I am referring to middle college because, yes.
That's a different program, a little bit separate from dual enrollment.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. After that application for admission has been submitted, your student should expect to receive their acceptance letter. We would always recommend that the student use a personal email address when they fill out the application. We never know what firewalls do at school districts. So when students use their school email, a lot of times our email responses get blocked. we would expect that. We would want that, keep their email account safe. So we tell you to use a personal email account when completing the application. Our acceptance letters are then emailed back to that email address. It is highly likely that acceptance letters would end up in a junk or a spam folder. We send those out in bulk every morning as we process those apps, and they unfortunately end up in spam or junk. So we tell students to always watch that junk or spam folder for that acceptance letter. It will be coming from applications@se4.edu, and it will have the subject of SE4 acceptance letters. Pretty easy to spot, but again, in a junk or a spam folder. Once that's been completed, we would tell you to work with your counseling staff at the high school. And there's a simple one-page form for our needs to do an authorization for that dual enrollment. It will ask for a parent and a student signature. Once that's completed, it then goes back to the high school for some type of an approval signature, whether that's the principal or some designee. Some of our courses may require placement information, specifically math or English courses. If your student has not completed SAT, we do accept SAT scores, not PSAT scores. If neither of those are options, we have a free assessment that is available at the college. It's, again, free of cost, and you are able to schedule an appointment for that online. If you want more information, my contact stuff will be on the last slide, and so you are welcome to reach out. We can get you connected with our testing center should you need that. Possible out-of-pocket costs. I will be honest, at $850 cap, there probably won't be a whole lot of out-of-pocket costs for families, which is amazing. Our dual enrolled students, any of our partner high schools that we work with, are afforded the lowest tuition rate we have, period. It's lower than an in-district student. So it is the best opportunity for students to take advantage of some assistance in paying with those courses. And if there are out-of-pocket costs, know that it's the lowest amount possible because of that low rate. Books and or required materials. Krista, do you guys reimburse for that if it's below the cap? Yeah. So
Yes.
most of my districts, do you?
Yeah, they just have to submit a receipt to us, and then once they successfully pass the class, if there's any funds available, we pay them back for the reimbursement of books.
Absolutely. Very common. So yes, so purchase those needed supplies, books anyway, and then any difference between that cap and the cost of the course might be eligible upon successful completion to be reimbursed as well. So minimal, but still something to keep in mind. So a little bit about our course schedule. Students are always, what class should I take? Our first question is, what is your end goal? Do you plan to transfer? Do you have a specific program of study that you are looking to complete post-secondary? Are you looking just to get some experience and coursework? Again, depending on what those answers are, we have lots of suggested courses that we can talk about. I'm going to show you briefly how our schedule works. You can find our course schedule at that web link, se4.edu/schedule. You will get a screen that looks like the image below that says Catalog Advanced Search. You can run this what I would consider wide open with just the term selected. Below the bottom of this image would have a search button, and it would simply start listing every course that we have planned to offer for our winter semester. You would also notice on the it'll be on the left-hand side, this filter results. I find that key very helpful, to make sure that you're looking at the right semester, because it will still display our fall courses, which are underway and about 60 to 70% completed. You can filter by a subject, you can filter by a location. So if you only want to see courses that are offered on campus, you would select the Port Huron campus, a box over there. And also if you wanted to filter out and just look at online courses or courses that are only being offered online, you can use that filter button as well. Lots of great features on that. If anyone is interested, I can walk you through a quick demo and we can view that schedule live. In the meantime, I'll just keep moving forward unless someone has a need to see a course search. Oops. When you do get to a course information, you are going to get the course as it is laid out. This example says Accounting 189, our college accounting. It is a 3-credit-hour class. That gray bar that you see there where it says view available sections, when that first displays, it's going to be collapsed. If you click on that gray bar, it will expand to show you, in this example, Accounting 189.01 is one of our on-campus sections. Accounting 189.60 is one of our online sections for a course. So a little bit about that information that I was just rattling off as far as a course number. All of the pieces are needed for our purposes so that we make sure we get you into the right course on the right days and times or in the right online classroom. So accounting, our abbreviation for that subject is ACCT. The numbers, that 189 tells us exactly which accounting course that is. The section number gives us information like days, times, locations, its length of time, whether it's offered over a complete semester of 16 weeks or if it's a shortened version. So I've listed a couple other, again, details on how our section number works. Not necessarily important as long as you read the information that you see when you're selecting a course. A lot of our students, when they receive that acceptance letter, we encourage them to log into our SC4 portal, which you can just find at portal.sc4.edu. Couple of things. That portal houses information with announcements and activities. It lists our class cancellations, should we have any for the day. The biggest piece of that puzzle is what I'm highlighting on this screen here. We have a whole section called Quick Links. The service center at the very top of that box is going to be all information about the student themselves. It's where they can plan courses. It's where they see grades. It's information should they be a non-dual enrolled student. It's where they see their financial aid, or if they had an outstanding balance due, they would see that information all within that service center. That next quick link is our college email. So obviously a quick link into their college email account. And that third one I have highlighted is our Canvas. The Canvas is our online classroom. So students could simply log into the portal, click that Canvas login. That's where they're going to find all of their online course information. Not until the first day of class, but that is where they will find online course information. That student planning box that I'm showing below that quick links, that information is going to show, again, the courses that they're enrolled in. They can click into there and find early alert grades, their final grades, all kinds of great information found in that student planning tab. We encourage students, if you've never heard of the Michigan Transfer Network, it is a wonderful site, specifically for students who are looking to transfer courses from SE4 to a university in Michigan. This simple site will allow you to choose SC4 as your sending institution. And in my example here, I've selected Central Michigan University, and I left it wide open, so you will have thousands of entries. But as you can see, it's going to show the SC4 side of our Accounting 189 course that we used in that previous example, and how it would transfer into Central Michigan as their ACC 101 3-credit-hour course. So it's giving you those course equivalencies. Specifically, if listen, I'm thinking of taking English composition or a speech class at SC4, I want to know how that transfers to a Grand Valley or to a Central, to Eastern, Western, any of those colleges. It is a really simple opportunity for you to, again, look at different schools and how those courses would align at that university. This website is updated at a minimum twice per year. And if for some reason there is a course you're interested in that has not been evaluated by that receiving institution, I would tell you, reach out to us. 9 times out of 10, we can probably tell you it might be something newer on our schedule, or they just haven't had a student with that course transferred in yet. Doesn't mean it's not going to transfer. Might not be something that they have evaluated from SE4 yet. I wanted to put a little slide in here about FERPA because it is a very different beast for high school students versus a dual enrolled student. So FERPA stands for the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. In short, in our world, we consider that all information about a student that we want and need to keep private. However, in a K-12 world, parents have the primary right. They hold the right, and they are the primary, they have primary access to all information about their student. They can request grades, schedules, information in their file, etc. Once that student has enrolled in a college, regardless of their age, that right stops for a parent and resides only with the student. So if you have a son or daughter who is 15 or 16, and they decide to dual enroll at SE4, as a parent, I can tell you nothing about the courses they are enrolled in, the grades they are receiving, nothing. Each student does have a right to request a FERPA waiver. We would request that student preferably come in person. If not, they must email us from their SE4 email account and to request that waiver. That waiver, once completed, can be on file, and that student can allow any person that they choose to act on their behalf as far as receiving information about them as a student. We like to share that because I know as a parent myself, it would be extremely frustrating to walk into the high school, get information about my student, walk into SE4 and say, I want to know how they're doing. I want to know who their teachers are. And I can tell you nothing. That's not because I want to withhold information, but it's because I want to keep your son or daughter safe. So it's a big rule. It's one we take very seriously on our campus, but specifically in my office. So there's a lot on that screen, but in theory, the student's rights, once they become a student at SE4, your rights to their information stops. Okay. Questions about that? Jamie, you didn't have another question, did you?
No, but I don't know how to get rid of the hand.
If you click on the hand again, I think it goes back down.
I'll try. Oh, there we go.
Perfect. Okay. So a little bit about the services that we offer. Registration statement. So once your student has applied for admission, once they've completed that early authorization form, and it's signed by everyone, high school offices send that information into my office. We will process that registration on behalf of your student. And we will, through the U.S. Postal Mail, send you a registration statement. It's going to go to the address that the student submitted in their application for admission. It's going to tell you what course section, if there's days and times, or whether that course is online. It will also tell you charges for that course and what portion of that of those charges are going to be covered by the high school. If there is any difference in that where the student or family may owe, you'll expect to see a little highlighted area from me and steps on how payment can be made. If there are no charges over and above what the school will pay, we would tell the student just be ready to start classes when they begin in January. January 12th will be the first day of classes for our winter semester. Early alert grades are submitted during week 6 of our winter and our fall semester. We collate that information and we send that off to the counseling office at each high school that we work with. And I like to tout this often. We offer free tutoring to any student, regardless of their grade. If we have a student who's receiving, let's say, a B minus in a class and they want to strive for a higher grade, they are eligible for free tutoring. There is no limit. You don't have to be failing a class. If you're simply stuck on a concept in a class, you are welcome to reach out to our tutoring center. We've got online options. We have a writing and a math center specifically designated to help with those two subjects. We also have specific tutors in our nursing and pre-health science pathways. So we've got lots of knowledgeable people willing to help others in all areas. I wanted to throw out some information about the financial aid completion workshops that we have. There are several that are still coming up. Well, one was today, and I guess that's probably going to take that first one off the list. But we tend to run them multiple times throughout a month, multiple times throughout the day. If those times and days do not work well for you and you are looking for assistance in getting that FAFSA completed, I would tell you to stop by anytime between 8 and 4:30. If that doesn't work for your schedule either, there is a phone number and an email address on that screen. Any specific questions you might have, they'd be happy to help answer those for you.
I just wondered, do the students in high school have to have a FAFSA form filled out before they can do dual enrollment?
Absolutely no.
Okay.
Students who are dual enrolled are not yet eligible for Title IV aid. So
Okay.
no FAFSA at all needed, only if you would be a graduating senior.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Devin.
I know the question was already asked earlier. I just wanted to clarify. Can you do partake in dual enrollment while already being enrolled in the tech program? Those are two separate things?
They are two separate things.
Okay, thanks for the clarification.
Correct.
But to answer that, if you are a tech student in your 11th or 12th grade year and you're not part of the middle college program, you are eligible to dual enroll.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Jamie.
So if my son is part of the middle college, is he eligible for the dual enrollment?
The middle college is a separate type of dual enrollment.
Okay.
And you will want to work with the Blue Water Middle College staff.
Oh,
They will
okay.
cover costs for their program.
Okay, so he's not really eligible for the dual enrollment then? Or I guess my question is, can he be in both middle college and dual enrollment?
No.
So if he's in the tech program, he'll likely either do the career technical middle college. We don't do Blue Water Middle College at Marysville. Yeah, but it's the career technical middle college, or sometimes if they are not in that program, they can still dual enroll. It would be like a case by case basis. And I would highly recommend your son coming to talk to either me or Mrs. Bullis about this whole process.
Okay, thank you.
Well, we'd really like to thank you, Deborah, for providing all of that valuable information regarding the dual enrollment process and how to register, sign up, and how to contact you. I do believe, Deborah, you're more than welcome to stick around, but I think we also have a young person who's already participating in the dual enrollment to provide additional feedback and advice on the program itself. Krista, are you okay introducing?
Yeah, Ella, if you want to go ahead and unmute, and if you feel comfortable turning your camera on, we could do that.
It won't let me turn my camera on, but it says I don't have the permission, so.
Okay, no worries. All right, so Ella, we kind of talked about a little bit, you wanted to share some tips that you had for a brand new dual enrollment student.
Yeah, so making sure that you know your login and that you've practiced logging in is a super important fact because if you get to the day that you're supposed to log in and you can't log in, it's pretty hard because there's a special password that you're supposed to have once you get to that day. And also making sure that you keep up on your work is a very important fact because different teachers have different due dates for different things. Because
Yeah,
certain
Ella,
teachers
can you
will
go back? Sorry, Ella, can you go back to the logging in? What happens if you don't remember that password? Do you remember what you had to do to reset it?
Yeah, if you don't know your password, you can call the SE4 like help and they can help you reset your password. And then but then once you reset your password, make sure you make it something that you're not going to forget because and write it down somewhere like that you'll remember.
That's very good advice because often we're used to forgetting our passwords at the school and coming to the office, but we can't do that. So you have to actually call the help desk at SC4. And then you said keeping up on your work if you wanted to touch base on that a little bit more.
Yeah, keeping up on your work is really important because a lot of teachers have different due dates. Like for instance, I have a teacher that one of my classes is due on a Friday and the other is a Sunday. So making sure that this also goes along with reading the syllabus is making sure that you're reading the syllabus so you know also when those things are going to be due. Because if you don't read the syllabus, you won't know the due dates.
Yes, very good advice. And then there was something else that you pointed out in the syllabus. What is the thing that you want to look for especially?
There's a lot of really important things in the syllabus. It'll also be like your teacher's expectations. And also certain classes will have online exams or others will have in-person exams. And knowing where your exams are going to be is really important because I've had both. And if you have online exams, you have to make sure you schedule them in time because you will have to go in person and to the SC4 building to take those.
Yes, and sometimes if you're not reading that syllabus ahead of time, you might not know and you have an exam the next day and you might not be ready or have it scheduled. So that's very good advice. The last thing I wanted to ask about is your classes. Like, how did you decide which classes that you were going to take?
A lot of my classes are the classes that I don't want to have to pay for when I go to college myself. So I've kind of just done a lot of research on what I need and I want to do in my future. So I've like Michigan transfer agreement, all of that stuff comes into the factor of what I need to get done now. So then I can do the other stuff that I really need in my future.
Yeah, good. And can you share just an example of a couple of the classes that you took? Just
a couple classes that I've taken is just like art appreciation. I've taken music. I'm currently taking a psychology class and I've taken astronomy. There are just some other classes that they're not like super important to my career in the future, but they're classes that I need to take.
Yeah, like required for the future, but you kind of want to get them over with.
Exactly.
Okay, anything else, Ella, or any questions for Ella?
Hey, Ella, I was wondering, sometimes the breaks that a high school has is a little bit different than the SC4. How do you guys handle that?
Most teachers will post on there and tell you when the breaks are going to be because a lot of teachers post announcements and it's really important to read those announcements along with that. So in the announcements, it'll often be like, oh, this week is our break for fall or this week is our spring break. And you'll be able to tell when you're going to have those breaks on your work and things as such.
Yeah, that's a very good thing to point out because like the winter semester that's coming up starts January 12th and our semester doesn't get done until January 20th. So there is going to be some overlap where students have to make sure they know that they're going to be taking, if they get into the dual enrollment, they're going to be taking some extra classes until that semester is over for us. So yeah, good point.
Thank you.
It looks like Anne has a question.
Yeah, I just want to clarify. If you're interested and probably won't be able to do it until fall of next year, like what is the first steps you should do at this point? Nothing or hold off or talk to your counselor? Apply?
She should probably contact us and we'll have a conversation and see because oftentimes students take these dual enrollment classes as electives. So it replaces electives here and they take electives there. So if they have any room for electives in their schedule, they could start in the winter, not have to wait till the fall. So just having a conversation with one of us would be a good start.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
And for
Yeah.
the fall semester, for those interested in that, we would begin that discussion later within the second semester to prepare them for that fall dual enrollment process. And it looks like Deborah is still on. We'd really like to thank Deborah for her time. We really appreciate it. And Ella, you did fantastic. We're super proud. Go Marysville. And Krista, great big thank you for organizing this and being on top of all things dual enrollment. But with that said, we hope you guys all have a wonderful evening and feel free to, this recording will be on the counseling website. So please, with any additional, or if you just kind of want to revisit this, it will be posted there. And you can always reach out to us with more questions. And thank you very much.
Have a great night.
Thank you all. Thank you all.